Can one person save an entire server from utter disaster? The answer is yes. I mean, if that person was the one to volunteer out of many other options, and if that utter disaster was just a really annoying nether spawn location, then sure. You could say that I single-handedly saved this server by turning their nether hub from this to this. Now, let me show you how. When you're starting a new season with over 20 of the most talented creators in Minecraft, picking the right seed is one of the most important things to do. But what type of seed everyone wants changes. So what did we all want this season? We wanted the perfect island continent that would bring us closer together, but still give us room to make some truly amazing builds. That's why everyone was excited to find this beautiful seed with an archipelago of large and small islands to choose from, multiple microbiomes scattered about, and a ruined portal right in the middle we could build a shopping district around. This perfect seed had only one problem: the Nether. Once that ruined portal at the heart of our island was lit, we found ourselves stranded on a tiny platform hovering over a giant lava lake and surrounded by a soul sand valley. As the arrows and gas blast rained down on our helpless day one bodies, we died so often that I swear the piglins put down their crossbows and began to laugh at us. This nether spawn needed to be tamed, and I was foolish enough to volunteer for the job. But before I get busy making plans, gathering resources, and building the Nether Hub, I need to make this Nether entrance safe for the other members of the server. And to do that requires just 2 steps. First, I move the portal out of the sky and down to the ground. It's not a beautiful hub. As a matter of fact, it's a little cumbersome, but it's at least enclosed, it has doors, and it's made out of blast-resistant cobblestone, okay? All right, now second, I'm going to climb my way up into the nether ceiling right above the hub. Here I'm going to build a small mob switch that will prevent mobs from spawning in this general area. This seems complicated, but it's really quite easy. If I throw eggs until I have 3 chickens, splash them with ooze potion and kill them, name tag the medium-sized slimes, and then break them into tiny slimes, then we're most of the way done. I just need to name tag 4 more chickens to take care of the passive mob spawns, and there you have it. From the bottom of the world to the top of the world, we're safe all around the hub. Okay, now that is sorted and squared away, the server is relatively safe for the members to go about their business. I have time to pause and think about the plan. So, here's the plan. All right. As you see here, I'm wanting to build a large structure, about 128 blocks tall. If you don't know, 128 blocks is the full height of the Nether, so it's from bedrock to bedrock, and it'll be about 81 blocks across. Based on this blueprint, it looks kind of like, like a Roman Colosseum kind of thing, which I guess it kind of does look that. But once I get some colored glass in all the doors and all the archways, and you see it from bottom to top with the fog effect in the Nether, I think it's going to have more of a fantasy feel to it. And then you see over here for the arches, we're planning on doing different blocks for each level, different glass colors for each level, and we want the larger portal to be in the middle, so the tallest portals will be in the middle, and then to try to get a little bit of an illusion of height and distance, I think we're going to make the ones going up above and the ones down below a little bit shorter. So that's the plan there. And then there are 2 needs I feel like this needs. 2 things I really want to add to it to make sure that it functions correctly, doesn't just look nice. I'm going to have these large lanterns in each of the sections, all 4 directions that'll be different colors. And we'll use that to color code the 4 directions so people know where they're going. And then also, one of the things I want to make sure, this is going to be like a giant enclosed area. So I want to make sure people can still easily get out into the Nether proper if they want to. So I'm going to have these little doorways in the corners that'll give easy access. They'll be well lit and mob safe so people can get in and out and have fun in any way that they choose to play the game. Okay? All right. Well, you would think the next step would be gathering resources, but I don't wanna. I think the next step is gonna be digging. So you ready? Let's dig. Oh man, that took quite a while to do. I could not do it all in one sitting. It took me multiple times sitting down and digging that out. It's not how deep it is, it's really just how wide it ended up being. But now I think is a good opportunity for us to play the positives and negatives game. This nether spawn being over a lava lake has a big positive. As you see up there, the ceiling is way high in the sky. So I only had to dig down to the ceiling, and then there's a giant empty space in the middle. That saved me so much digging. But now the negative is I've got a giant lava lake right in my way from going down lower. But I guess there's no use in procrastinating, so let's figure out the best way to get rid of this lava. Silent Whisperer said I should use a flying machine, but I realized I am not good with redstone, and we are in lava, and it's a circle, so it would be extremely difficult to move it around, and I thought that seemed more frustrating than cool, so I chose not to. So what I have to do now is cover all this soul sand, since it's not a full-size block. If I was to drop anything through the lava, then it would just break and not work. So I have to cover up the soul sand. I drank some potions. I just came down here and did it. Now I'm going to use the black concrete that I have made for my build to just fill in the spaces. I thought that was pretty efficient to use this material for two purposes rather than just one. I was going to use scaffolding. I saw a really cool method to just keep lowering your scaffolding levels down to get rid of all the lava, but that's a Java feature. I couldn't do it on Bedrock. So now that the lava is gone, I'm just gonna dig my way down to the bottom, clean everything up, and then be ready to start working on the build. I just realized I left out a large part. I even forgot to record half of it, and it's mainly because I had to quickly make things safe for everyone on the server. You see, before I dug this ridiculously huge hole, which by the way, the worst part of this by far was digging out the netherrack between each and every little crevice down there in the deep slate. That was absolutely the worst part. I forgot to show you this. It's so cool. It's the portal that's going to be in the middle of the giant tower here. It's fairly simple at the moment. I didn't do anything really fancy here. I just needed to get the basics in place before everybody logged on and tried to walk out here and found themselves hovering over just like a couple cobblestone blocks over this giant hole. That would not have been a kind thing for me to do. So yeah, before I dug, I actually built this and I forgot to mention it. I did mention in an earlier episode, however, the other side. This is the Overworld portal. I think it turned out really good. It is quite simple. That's for a reason. You see, all this area around here is going to get terraformed. The other members of the server wanted to contribute to the project, and we have an idea for there being like a lake and a waterfall and all kinds of geologically accurate, striations in the walls and stuff. I don't know. They have lots of cool ideas. So I just threw this in here and I love it. I love the chains up there. You'll find that I will have some wooden walkways on the inside, so it does match up with what I'm doing in there. And there we go. There we go. That's the two parts I forgot to show you. But now I need to gather more resources. You saw I already have the black concrete, but I'm going to need a lot more. Okay. That was a lot of material gathering, but it's not as much as I could have been. I was very kind of strategic in the materials that I gathered, and when I designed it, I made sure that, like, for example, on the stone level, I just used varieties of stone and not weird blocks. I didn't throw in, like, dead coral or whatever. So all I had to do was throw that stone into a stone cutter and get the varieties I needed. So I wouldn't have to go all over the world looking for things. So yes, I got some black stone, and I got deep slate, and I got, tough and things, but I didn't have to grab then lots of other variety type blocks. And that made the build much more reasonable and easy to accomplish. Now, before we start the great big time lapse, the big build that you've been waiting for this whole time, I do want to show something very important that took a lot of my thought whenever I designed this. I find black concrete to be basically an invisible block. Whenever you do an entirely enclosed space in black concrete, it is so black, it just disappears. It doesn't look, you don't see any texture on it, you don't see any interest, it's just gone. So I didn't want to build the entire tower enclosure outside of the, arches and doorways with this, because yeah, that would look cool, I guess, if you wanted it to be like emptiness, but I instead wanted it to look a little bit more interesting. So I want to use black concrete powder. That's still black, but it has a little bit more interest to it than just plain concrete. But the problem here is, if you're not careful and you build the entire thing from the bottom to the top with black concrete powder, and something happens to the bottom, then the whole row or column comes down all at once. So what I'm planning on doing is having a row of concrete and then multiple rows, like 5 rows or so of the powder. And then on top of those 5 rows, I'll then do another row of concrete. And then those concrete layers will be hidden with blocks going along them. So all you'll see is the concrete powder, but you won't have the problem of the entire structure coming down if you were to break one block. It'll just be like the 5 blocks that are there on top of it. Does that make sense? I really did put a lot of thought into this. I was worried about the people on the server. I didn't want to build this thing and some random ghast follows somebody into the Nether Hub and it all comes tumbling down and they start freaking out and then I'm upset and it's all a whole thing. So I want to be mindful of everybody that you got to realize when you're on a server, you never know what's going to happen. All kinds of things. Even, I'm not assuming anybody's going to do anything wrong or bad, but just random things happen whenever this many people get together on Minecraft, and it's totally accidental. But I wanted to make sure that when an accident happens, it's not catastrophic. Okay? Okay, I think that's it. I think we've covered all the bases. I guess now there's nothing left to do but build the thing. Are you ready? I don't know if I am, but I guess we'll do it anyways. And of course, there was one bit I forgot to record. It's all the bridges. What do you think? It's done. I love it. It's so cool. I am so happy with it. I just can't believe I actually have this thing built on the server, fully functioning, ready to go for everyone to use throughout the season. I am so excited. But it's a little difficult because of how tall it is. It's a little difficult to show you all the little bits and bobs I want to show you. So let me hop into a world copy, a world download, and I forgot a block behind me. Okay, I'll fix that later. Let me jump into a world download and hop into spectator. I can fly around and show you all the little things I love about this build. The first thing I want to talk about are these arches. It took me so much trial and error to turn this fairly standard Minecraft arch into something that slightly adjusts as it goes around the circle. I had to make 3 other versions of the arch in order to make it go all the way around smoothly with the curve. And I feel like these two do a really good job. I would like this one to be a little bit wider, but only like 1 block wider. Unfortunately, that didn't work out matching the curve. So the corners are a little bit tight, but I feel like they turned out so good. I am super happy and proud of that. Next up are the bridges. This also took a ton of trial and error. At one point, I was thinking about making them kind of saggy, swinging bridges. I did think that would look cool, but that also here inside of Minecraft, doing it on the angles like this became really difficult. Matter of fact, as it is, getting all these different angles of bridges, I think there's like 3 or 4 different angles of bridges we have here, like a 25 degree and a 30 degree, etc., etc. It took a lot of trial and error as it was. So what I did, instead of making it saggy, I made sure and give it lots of supports. So I have supports on the 1/3 of the way, or is that about quarter of the 1/3 of the way across each bridge. That kind of makes it a little bit more believable that it's holding up a straight bridge. While we're up here, let's go through here. I moved the mob switch. There was one in the middle, and now I have one here, and I have one in the other 3 cardinal directions. So there's now 4 mob switches that should hopefully give us a little bit more. Okay, I'm in a wall. That should give me a little. How do I get another? Okay, sorry, I don't use spectator very often. That should give us a little bit more coverage further out. And make it a little bit more mob-proof from gas and things blowing up all this concrete powder, as I discussed earlier in the video. And lastly, I want to talk about these lanterns and these halls. I love these lanterns. I love them so much. They turned out so good, and I think they do a really good job of letting you know which direction you're getting ready to head down. And then of course the hallway outside. I chose to do just ice as a boat track. I didn't put soul sand down through here as some people do. I don't feel like it gets used very often on this server, so it's not really needed. But there's lots of room for flying. You're not really gonna hit your head on this. Whoopsie, you're not gonna hit your head on this. And you do have the boat track along the way. And that, as they say, is that. It turned out so much better than I hoped it would. I'm so stinking proud of it. I'm sure I missed some blocks here and there, but as you see, I already fixed this block that was missing there, and as the season goes on, if I see anything else missing, I will fix them as well. One last very important note. I am telling the members on the server that these archways are open to them. They can do whatever they want. If they somehow are able to link their nether portals directly there, go for it. What I would really like to see is for people to use this area as like a memory chamber. So I would love for during like a stream or during a video for them to open up one of the entryways, create a room outside of it, and then build a memory. Build something from a previous season, a previous server, maybe something that's a good memory from real life. And what I would love to see is by the end of the season that there's just all these rooms up and down this chamber that's just full of the server's memories and full of good times. I don't know, maybe a prank or two, or I don't know. People are absolutely free to open these up and do something with them, and I cannot wait to see what they do. All right. Well, that's it. I think it turned out amazing. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found it adequate.